So in yesterday's class, if you remember, we have done till here. We have done the calculation of one compound I have done for calculating the oxidation state. So today we will proceed. Let us take few more example and understand how to calculate the oxidation state of a particular element. Now I am taking example of H2SO4, okay, sulfuric acid, where you need to calculate the oxidation state of sulfur, okay. So how do we calculate? We assume the oxidation state of the underlined element as X, okay. So let me take, let X be the oxidation number, okay. So let X be the oxidation number, yes, oxidation number of sulfur. So this I will assume as X, and we have two hydrogen present, okay. So you need to sum all of the oxidation state of the element which are present in this particular compound, and then you have to see whether there is a charge. This compound doesn't carry any charge, correct? No, so that means I should take equal to 0. Suppose if you have a compound where on top of that there is a charge given, then that charge you will be writing equal to that particular charge you should write, okay. So I don't have any charge over here, so I will take equal to 0, okay. So how many hydrogen you are having? 2 hydrogen, so you write 2 into hydrogen oxidation number, you know, correct? No, yeah, 2 into 1 plus sulfur we don't know, so we will take that as X, plus 4 oxygen you are having. So 4 into charge of oxidation, oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So I will write -2. Directly I am writing. I am not writing the atoms here. Okay. Because you know this is the charge. Equal to 0. Okay. So now what will be X value then? So 2 plus X, and here we are having -8. Okay. So -8 plus 2 will be -6. So X is equal to -6, take to the other side. So +6. Okay, so sulfur oxidation state here. So sulfur is in +6 oxidation state. In this case, they are in +6. If you want directly, you see now 2 into -4, -8, correct? No, -8 plus 2. So that means it should be +6. Directly how you are calculating when you have a compound there itself without doing any calculation. Do the mind calculation and then you can find out if you become very quick, no, in doing this. Then without calculation you'll be able to do it. Okay, so that is first one. Now write it down. Okay, let's go for next one. Second one, HNO3. In HNO3 you need to find out the oxidation state of nitrogen here. How much will it be? Assume that nitrogen as X, okay, nitrogen you are taking as X, so it will be 1, hydrogen is 1, plus nitrogen, only one nitrogen is there, so plus X, correct? No, and then plus how many oxygen we have? 3, so 3 into -2. There is no charge, no charge for the compound, so equal to 0. Yes, so it will be -6 plus 1 -5, which you can take to the other side, so +5. Very good. Yes, so +5 is the oxidation state, correct? Okay, next. K2MnO4. Okay, now you tell me what is the oxidation state of manganese here. You all calculate. Okay, you need to calculate what is the oxidation state of Mn, manganese. Few more compounds I am writing at this side. Once it is over, once you finish this third one, then you can go for the next. Okay, fourth and fifth one. Fourth is Fe2O3. Next I'll write H2S2O7. Yes, everyone got the answer? Yeah. Manganese is here you need to find for iron. Fourth one you need to find for iron. And fifth one you need to find for sulfur. Yeah, what is the oxidation state, everyone, for third one? I've got few answers. Yeah, correct. Few have done it correct, yes. Others also tell me what is the answer you are getting for manganese. Plus 6, everyone, no? Yes, no problem, right, in calculating. Plus 6, very good. So here, see, potassium 2 are there. So 2 into 1 plus manganese is x plus 4 into minus 2. Whole charge is 0. Okay. So x value will be 2 minus 8. So that's 6. Okay, so plus 6. Very good, correct. Now go for this fourth one. Iron you need to calculate. Yeah, so iron you have got, Fe you have got plus 3. Very good. So 2 into x if you want, I'll just do it. And then you have 3 into minus 2. The whole charge, nothing, so 0. Okay. So that means it is minus 6 divided by 2 you will get. So that is plus 3. Very good. Okay. So plus 3 is the answer. And for sulfur, how much you are getting? Here, H2S2O7, you are getting 6. 6, correct, no? Yeah, because here 2 hydrogen means 2 plus 2 sulfur we are having. So 2 into x I should write. Plus 7 into minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. So that's minus 12 you are getting, which will go to the other side. So x is equal to plus 6. Very good. Yeah. So I believe it is understood now. Now this was in the compound form. Okay. Now we'll take few example for ionic species as well. Like this. Now see, next I'm taking ionic species. Now MnO4 minus. How will you calculate? This one I will do. Then next one I will give it to you all to do. Okay. MnO4 minus. If this is given, you need to calculate for manganese here. Okay. Element which you need to calculate is manganese. Let me take manganese as X. Okay. Plus I have 4 oxygen. So 4 into minus 2. Now see, this compound carries a charge. It's an ionic species. So charge, you should write equal to that particular charge. So charge on that particular compound over here is minus 1. So I should be writing minus 1. Okay. So x minus 8 and then here minus 1. So your answer will be x is equal to plus 7. Very good. Yes. So plus 7. Okay. So this is for ionic species. Clear? Now we'll take few more example. This you can make a note. Okay. Next one is this CO3 2 minus. Here you need to calculate what is the oxidation state of carbon. Calculate. After this is over, after MnO4 minus is over, go for the next one. Yeah, correct. Yes. So it's plus 4, everyone. Yes, I've got many answer. It's correct also. Yes. Very good. Okay, so carbon is X. Plus we have oxygen 3 into minus 2. Whole charge on them is minus 2. Okay, so X is equal to minus 2 plus 6. So X is equal to plus 4. Very good. Yes. So plus 4 is the charge what carbon carries in carbonate. Okay, I'll go for next one. Yes. Okay, next now is stock notation. Stock notation is similar to what you are doing for oxidation number. Okay, how you are calculating oxidation number. It's the same thing, but only difference is you are going to express that oxidation number in Roman numericals. Okay, you have to represent that in Roman numbers, and inside the bracket you should write immediately after the metal. Okay, a metal will be given to you, in the compound. So after you find out what is the oxidation number, okay, so that oxidation number should be written in the bracket immediately after the metal. Now imagine here you have that metal. Immediately after that in the bracket you will write that oxidation number, and that should be written in Roman numbers. This is one way of representing IUPAC representation of oxidation number. Okay, given it was actually discovered by Alfred Stock, a German chemist. So based on his name, Stock notation is given. Okay, so now see how to calculate. I will take a compound. See, FeO. If I take FeO, you know how to calculate the oxidation number, correct? No? So Fe is oxidation number. You have to calculate the oxidation state of the metal here. So Fe oxidation state will be how much? Fe we are taking as X. Oxygen we know it is -2. Whole charge is 0. So X is equal to +2. Okay, correct. So how to represent now? Stock notation. How will you do the stock notation of this particular compound? So stock notation is you will write the element. Immediately after that, you should write the oxidation state in Roman number. So +2 is the oxidation state. So immediately after the metal, you will write 2 like this. Okay, Roman number 2 and then followed by oxygen. Okay, this indicates the oxidation state of that particular element when it is given like that. Okay, it gives more clear idea because some elements have variable oxidation state. So just to get a clear cut idea, we write them in the bracket. Okay, so this is stock notation. Okay, one example I've taken. If you want one more example, let us take. Second one I'm taking now. See, next one. If this compound is given to you, Fe2O3. Okay, calculate the oxidation state of iron here. Metal you need to calculate. Iron's oxidation state. So we have 2x plus 3 into -2. Whole charge is 0. Okay, so x value will be 2x is equal to +6. Correct? So x is equal to +3 here. Okay, so +3 is the oxidation state of this particular Fe here. So how will you represent that? You will represent like Fe, then Fe2 you should write. Okay, write the whole compound as it is. Only thing is after the element you will write the oxidation state. So you will write oxidation as 3 and then O3. Okay, done. So this is stock notation where oxidation number you are going to represent in the Roman numbers immediately after the element. Okay, inside the bracket you should write. That's it. Okay, next you can try out this third one. I'm writing the compound. Once you finish these two, try out this and tell me what is the oxidation state. Here, MnO2, Mn you need to calculate. Few more example I will give you. You take down that as homework. Okay, you can take this CuI. You can calculate for the CuI. Then we have CuO. Then MnO. These three I'm giving you as homework. Okay, you can work out by yourself later. Underlined element over here, this is copper, here copper, then manganese. Okay, stock notation you represent only for metals. So you need to calculate only for metal here. So let me start with next topic, that is types of redox reaction. Okay, types of redox reaction. Now first type in that is combination reaction. Okay, first type of reaction is combination reaction. Combination meaning here what they try to convey to you all. Okay, combination means if I have a reactant that is A, let me assume one reactant as A and the other reactant as B. So these two are combining together, means they are just clubbing them together to form AB as a product. Then such type of reactions come under the category of combination reaction. Okay, so A is one reactant, B is one reactant, club them together to form the compound as AB. Okay, so that is combination, where in this reaction two reactants combine together to give you one single product. Okay, you can even imagine like if I have two small laddus and they have combined together, you get one big laddu, or like that only it is. Okay, So that is combination reaction. Let me give you one example for this. See, combination reaction, simple example you can take. Okay, carbon plus oxygen I can take. Carbon plus oxygen combined together to give you carbon dioxide, and the equation is also balanced. Yeah, hydrogen plus chlorine also giving you HCl. Yes, that is also correct. Okay, so carbon plus oxygen giving you carbon dioxide. This is a redox reaction. You should check whether the reaction is redox. You know what a redox reaction is, where one element undergoes oxidation and the other element should undergo reduction. So you can check them out. See, from carbon to this, the carbon dioxide's carbon, okay, from here to here. Now this carbon which is there on the reactant side, what is the oxidation state of that carbon? They are in their elemental state, correct? In their elemental state, the oxidation state is 0. I'll just put on their head. So here oxidation state is 0. What about this carbon which is there in the combined form with oxygen? When they are in the combined form, you know, oxidation state of this carbon over here is plus 4. You can calculate, no? Minus 2 of oxygen into 2, that's plus 4. Okay, now you do mind calculation. You know how to calculate it. Okay, so here in carbon dioxide, the carbon is plus 4. But when they are in the elemental state, it is 0. Okay, so what reaction is this? From 0 to plus 4. 0 to plus 4, there is increase in oxidation number. Increase in oxidation number is a, what students, increase in oxidation number is? Oxidation. Yeah, correct. Good. Oxidation. Okay, now come to this one, oxygen. Take oxygen. Oxygen over here, elemental state, so it is 0. Okay, in elemental state, it is 0. Come to this oxygen here. Oxygen's oxidation state is minus 2. You know, no, oxygen should be minus 2. So from 0 to minus 2, what has happened? There is decrease. No, in the number line, you have to check. 0 here, then minus 1, minus 2. Okay, if you are going this way, it is decrease in oxidation number. If you are going this side, it is increase in oxidation number. Okay, this side towards your right hand side, increase in oxidation number. Towards your left hand side, if you are going, decrease in oxidation number. So that means you are undergoing reduction. Okay, so it's a redox reaction. Understood? Okay, you need not do all this, but then just check out at the end whether it's a redox reaction. So combination reaction where carbon has combined with oxygen to give you carbon dioxide. One example I've taken. You can take other example also. You can take magnesium with oxygen. Magnesium with oxygen combines to form magnesium oxide, MgO, 2 molecule each. Okay, so from Mg to MgO, when you are going here in MgO, Mg is in plus 2 state. In the elemental state, it is 0. Okay, and from oxygen to this, you see 0, and then here it is minus 2. So one is undergoing oxidation, this is undergoing oxidation, and oxygen is undergoing reduction. Okay, so it's a redox reaction. Clear? So combination reaction where two reactants have combined together. Two reactants have combined together to give you one single compound. Okay, single product is formed. So that's combination. I believe it is understood now what is combination. Okay, let's go for next one. Next reaction is decomposition reaction. Decomposition is exactly opposite to what we do for combination. Decomposing means what? Breaking down. Correct? No? Usually organic compounds undergo decomposition where they break down into smaller products. Okay, so here if I have AB as the reactant, AB is the big compound I am having. Okay, so if they break down to give you A and B separately, yes, they give rise to two or more product. Okay, one big compound has broken down into two or smaller component, then we call them as decomposition reaction. So example for that I can take down like water. Water, if I take, water will break down. No, this happens when you do electrolysis. When you do electrolysis, they break down. They break down to give you which element. Whatever elements are there, you write that. Hydrogen is there, and then we have oxygen because water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So these will be the two elements which will be formed after the reaction. Okay. So two molecules of water gives you two molecule of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen. You can check them out whether it's a redox reaction. See, one element should undergo oxidation, other element should undergo reduction. So if you check out hydrogen in water is in plus 1 state. Okay, hydrogen is always in plus 1 state. Oxygen is in minus 2 state. Now go from this water, hydrogen, to when they have formed the product in their elemental state. In elemental state, the charge on them is 0, correct? So from +1 to 0, what has happened? +1 to 0, what has happened? You tell me. Yeah, reduction, correct. +1 to 0, reduction, because you are going this side. Okay, and then -2, here oxygen is in which state? -2, oxygen is in the 0, elemental state. No, so 0 it will be. Okay, here it is 0. So from -2 to 0. Okay, here -2 is here, 0 is here. And if you are going towards your right hand side, I told you it is oxidation. Okay, so this is oxidation. That side, if you are going, it is reduction. So this is undergoing oxidation. If you are able to locate one, the other one easily you will be able to understand. Okay, so one is undergoing reduction, the other one is undergoing oxidation. Okay, so it's a redox reaction. Example. And now remember, not all the decomposition reaction will come under redox reaction. Some exceptionals are also there. See, exceptional case is here. I'm writing here, this one. One exceptional case. This decomposition reaction you have studied in your high school, if you able to recall. Calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate on decomposition gives you two products. CaCO3, if you heat them, on heating they decompose to give you two compound. That is, whenever a carbonate is heated, or if you add an acid to it, always a gas is released. That is carbon dioxide. So CO2 you get. Plus, so what is remaining now? Calcium oxide. Yes, very good. Correct. Yeah, this you are familiar. So you get calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Now you check whether they are undergoing oxidation and reduction. See, calcium is in +2 oxidation state here. I am talking about the compound. Okay, so compound, if you are taking, this calcium is in +2 state. Carbon is in +4 state. Oxygen is in -2 state. Okay, now come to this one. The product side, calcium. Calcium is in +2 state. Oxygen is in -2 state. So they cancel each other, no? And you get on the compound, there is no charge, 0. Now come to carbon. Carbon is in +4 state. Oxygen is in -2 state. Okay. Now see, from this calcium to this calcium, anything has happened? No change, correct? Initially in the reactant state also it was in +2. Product also it is in +2. You can talk about carbon also. See, carbon in the reactant side it was +4, product side also they are in +4. Oxygen, you see, in both the cases they are in -2. So there is no change in the oxidation number. Okay, it has remained same. So this is not a redox reaction. Okay, in a redox reaction what should happen? One should gain and one should lose. So here there is no change. So this is one exceptional case. Okay, this is not a redox reaction. It is not a redox reaction. So you need to find out the oxidation state and check them out. Okay, so then you'll be able to understand which type of reactions are redox reaction. So that's all about decomposition, where you understood that one product, one reactant, will break down to give you two or more simple components. Okay, now moving on with the next one. Next one is displacement reaction. So let me take A as one element here and B is in the combined form. So that means they are in the compound state. Okay. So imagine A is more reactive here. Okay. This is more reactive. And you imagine B is less reactive. Okay. B is less reactive in nature. So if A is made to react with like this BC compound, then during the process what will happen is this A will come and displace the B. If A is more reactive during the reaction, then the more reactive one can come and displace the less reactive one in the solution. So such type of reactions will fall under displacement reaction. So if they come and displace, then A will combine with the C, giving you this as a compound, and B will be thrown out. Okay, it's like in the firm, or if there is a company and they are trying to hire a people, if they find somebody who is more good, the better ones will be always taken out, and the less the poor ones, I can say, the one who are not that efficient, they will be put out. Okay, so that is what is displacement, where the good ones are taken and the poor ones will be thrown out. Okay, so here you can see A is more reactive. So more reactive ones displaces the less reactive ones from their solution. Okay, such type of reactions are displacement. Yeah. So now you know displacement can happen in two ways. There are two category of displacement reaction. One is metal displacement and the other one is non-metal displacement. Correct. Now whatever example you guys are giving, no, yes, all those examples are correct. If I take sodium and make it to react with magnesium chloride, you will get sodium chloride and magnesium. Yes, correct. And copper solution also. Yes, copper solution if you take copper and iron. Yeah, that also I've taken. So I will discuss that in detail. See now, listen. First displacement is metal displacement and the second category is non-metal displacement. So let us understand now what is metal displacement. Like you guys have already given the example and you have studied this in high school if you remember. Yeah, if I take iron nail and dip them in copper sulfate solution. Okay. So this is copper sulfate. You know, copper sulfate is blue in color. So here we have blue color solution and iron nail is dipped. So iron is more reactive in nature. So these more reactive ones can come and displace the copper. So during the process, after some times, if you keep this iron nail dipped in the copper sulfate solution, you see the color changes like this. Okay. It turns out to be green. It will give you green color solution. So why that green color solution is formed? Because Fe, when combines with sulfate, when they displace and combine with sulfate, they form FeSO4. So FeSO4, okay, ferrous sulfate is green in color. Copper sulfate is blue in color. So this has the color changes happen because of the displacement reaction. So if a metal, more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal, then that will be called as metal displacement. Okay. So one is in the combined form, copper sulfate is in the combined form and iron is in the uncombined state. Okay. Iron is in the, because they are alone, no here. Iron metals are alone. So those alone reactive metals comes and displaces the copper here. Okay, giving you ferrous sulfate. So equation wise, I can write it like this. Iron, when made to react with copper sulfate, CuSO4, comes and displaces the copper during the reaction. Okay, so iron will displace this copper and occupy their place. Okay, so product you will get is FeSO4 plus Cu. Okay, this will be formed. If you want, you can check out the oxidation state. Fe in their uncombined form, the oxidation state over here is 0. Okay, you can check out. See here, iron, when they have not combined with anybody, it is 0. Here copper, you check out, copper is plus 2 in the combined form with sulfate. So copper is in plus 2 state and sulfur is in minus 2 state. Okay. So sulfate, SO4 2 minus, no. So I'm just taking the sulfate on the whole, or you can take separately. Sulfur over here is plus 4 and oxygen is minus 2. Like that also you can take. Okay. Now see over here what has happened. From Fe, when they have combined with FeSO4, Fe has lost 2 electrons. So they have come in plus 2 state here. Okay. And copper has gone in 0 oxidation state because they have gone to metal state by taking 2 electrons. Okay. So from Fe to Fe2 plus, they have undergone oxidation and from here Cu2 plus 2 Cu, this element has undergone a reduction. Okay, Cu2 plus has taken electrons, so reduction. Fe has lost electrons, so they have undergone oxidation. Okay, so that is metal displacement reaction. Okay, next one is non-metal displacement, where non-metals are there, no, like hydrogen, oxygen, these elements are displaced. Example, it can be displaced by anybody. It can be displaced by a non-metal itself or it can be displaced by a metal. But who is getting displaced, that we are talking about. Non-metals are getting displaced. Okay. So they are just thrown out from their compound. So like example, sodium hydroxide formation, you know, when sodium metals are dropped in the water, you know what happens during the reaction, correct? If I drop sodium element in the water, it's an explosive reaction where you know this sodium will burn out and during the process you will get sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas will be released. So there is formation of sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas will escape out. So that escaped hydrogen which is escaping out here due to high amount of energy which is released, they burn out and you see the fire coming out over here. Okay, so during the process what has happened here, see from the water has hydrogen and then you have OH. Okay, this sodium being highly reactive comes and displaces the hydrogen, giving you sodium hydroxide. See, that's how the reaction has happened. Water has H and then OH. This sodium from the reaction has come here and it has removed this hydrogen. Okay, so it has removed this hydrogen and formed sodium hydroxide. That removed hydrogen will combine with another hydrogen and go out in the form of hydrogen gas. I can balance this. It will be like 2 here, 2 here and 2 on this side. Okay, so you'll get 2 sodium combining with 2 water giving you 2 sodium hydroxide plus 1 hydrogen gas released. This you might understand with the reactivity series also. Which element will displace the hydrogen? The one which comes above the series like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium. These are more reactive elements. Okay, this is the series what you have studied. Based on the reaction, the series were given out, reactivity series. Okay, so whichever comes above the hydrogen, it indicates that these elements being more reactive can displace the hydrogen from the reaction. Okay, so that's how sodium hydroxide was being formed. Here sodium hydroxide is formed because sodium being more reactive displaces hydrogen, and hydrogen is like positive element, no, can be displaced there. Okay, one more example I will take. Like water, if you make it to react with fluorine. Now between oxygen and fluorine, you know who is more electronegative? Fluorine is more electronegative. Correct, no? If I take water and fluorine reaction, what will happen? What product I may get? Fluorine is more electronegative. Okay. So what happens during the reaction is oxygen will be thrown out and fluorine will come and occupies the oxygen position. Okay. So compound what you get will be HF plus oxygen will go out. Okay. O2 will go out. You can balance this. If you balance this reaction, see, I have 2 oxygen here, so I'll get 2 H2O. Total 4 hydrogen, so let me multiply this by 4. Okay, so you get 2 F2. So this is the reaction. Okay, if you take water and make fluorine gas to pass through it, fluorine being more electronegative displaces the oxygen. So it is just a concept of who is more reactive. The more reactive one displaces the less reactive one. That's it. Okay, so this is another example for displacement reaction. Okay, now one last reaction which is remaining. See this reaction, very important also because it's kind of little different compared to all these reaction. So that reaction is called as disproportionation reaction. Okay, this reaction is disproportionation reaction, a unique kind of a reaction. So your example, I'm taking hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Okay, hydrogen peroxide decomposes to give you water and oxygen. Okay, during the process, if you keep hydrogen peroxide outside, they form water plus oxygen. Okay, now calculate the oxidation state here. See, in hydrogen peroxide, let's see what are the oxidation state. See, hydrogen is in +1 oxidation state, we know that. And for peroxide oxygen, I told you yesterday what was the oxidation state. You can calculate if you want, you can calculate also, then you will be able to understand what oxidation state oxygen carries here. See, hydrogen, you know, it is 1. So I'll write 2 into 1, that is 2. Plus oxygen, we don't know. Let it be 2x. Whole charge on them is 0. Okay, so what value I will get? 2x is equal to -2. So x is equal to -1. Correct, no? So oxygen, you are getting -1. So here oxygen is in -1 oxidation state. Okay, now after they have broken down to water and oxygen, you calculate the oxidation state of this hydrogen here. Hydrogen is in +1 state itself. Okay, hydrogen is in +1 state, but oxygen which is there, that is in -2 state here. Okay, in water, I'm talking about in the water. Hydrogen is in +1 state, oxygen is in -2 state. What about this oxygen? What is the oxidation state of this oxygen here? Yes, correct, 0. So it is 0. Okay. Now let us see from the reactant to the product what has happened. Hydrogen is same, no? Here also it is +1 and here also it is +1. In reactant side as well as in product side it is similar. So let us not talk about that because there is no change. Now let's see for oxygen. See, oxygen from -1, when they have formed water, it has gone to -2 state. So -1 to -2, what is it? You all tell me, -1 to -2, what is it? -1 to -2. Reduction. Everyone agrees? Yes, very good. That is reduction. Okay, so -1 say -2, it is reduction. -1 to 0. It has undergone oxidation, correct? So see here, one element itself simultaneously has undergone oxidation as well as reduction. Same element, not different element. If you see the before reactions, whatever we did, there were one element undergoing oxidation, other element was undergoing reduction. Here it is not like that. Oxygen itself simultaneously undergoes reduction as well as oxidation. Such type of reactions are called as disproportionation reaction. Okay, so remember, it's a different, unique kind of a reaction, special kind of a reaction where one element itself simultaneously has undergone reduction as well as oxidation. Okay, so example you can remember, hydrogen peroxide breaks down to give you water plus oxygen. You can balance also this. If I balance this out, I'll multiply by 2 here, okay, and this can be multiplied by 2. So you'll get proper balanced equation. I believe it is clear. Fourth one, this reaction you can actually check out in our daily life also. We do this reaction, okay, disproportionation reaction. If you have heard about elephant toothpaste, you will see in YouTube quite common experiment it is which is done. Okay, so what they try to do here is they take this hydrogen peroxide is taken. Okay, if you want like different colors of this, you can make use of a food color. Okay, food colors are used, and then they make use of this liquid detergent. Okay, so liquid detergent will be poured inside this, then they add hydrogen peroxide. Okay, and little amount of catalyst is added. You can see potassium iodide here serves as a catalyst. You can add yeast also. Yeast also can be added. Okay, so during the reaction what happens is, see, if your concentration of hydrogen peroxide is very less, you will get less amount of oxygen released, because you know they break down, hydrogen peroxide breaks down to give you water plus oxygen. Oxygen is a gas, so they will try to escape out. So when they are trying to escape out, they will penetrate through that solution. Okay, so you get bubbles there. So that bubbles are formed because of oxygen. So if you take higher concentration of hydrogen peroxide, more amount of oxygen will be released, and this is how the changes you will be able to see. Okay, so it will come out from the solution, from the whole solution it will escape out. So the thickness is quite big, so it is called as elephant toothpaste. Okay, so this is a common reaction which is done. Example for disproportionation reaction, where water plus oxygen is released. So these are the 4 reactions, students, different types of redox reaction. Okay,